Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. This short video is about what happens in the body, the central nervous system, during an event that becomes a trauma and afterwards. So, the brain is geared up for our survival. And what happens is that when we're faced with a horrible situation, what we need to do in order to process it and for not to become an internal restriction, i.e., a trauma, is we need to be able to respond and put ourselves in a situation of safety. Now, this is called fight or flight, and it's the mobilization of get me out of this energy, the survival energy that's triggered within the central nervous system to protect us. So we're in a situation where there's danger. The older part of the brain takes control, which is linked to the reptilian brain, and the more conscious thinking, the highest part of the brain, temporarily kind of shuts down. And that's in order for our body to move us out of the threat of danger. So quite often, you may remove yourself when you're running and you might think, how did I get here? Okay, it doesn't matter because you're in that flow of automatic response. I am leaving. Now, what happens is that the alarm bell that got switched on with the stress hormones to mobilize the body will keep energizing that body until they reach the place of safety. Once they've reached the place of safety, the alarm bell switches off. Now, what interestingly happens is that the left side of the brain, which is responsible for logic, sequential reasoning, for communication, synchronizes with the right side of the brain, which is responsible for intuition, emotion, memory, feeling. And together they can make sense of the situation, put it into present day context. The body understands that it has reached a place of safety. The nervous system can resume to a parasympathetic, a more calm equilibrium, and that person can move on. Now, that is fundamental in recovery from a potentially dangerous situation. So what happens if you cannot do that? If that person is unable to escape that moment of danger, if they're held down, if they're trapped in some way, then the alarm bell doesn't switch off because they haven't reached a place of safety. The left side of the brain can't communicate with the right side and synchronize to make sense of it. So what happens? Well, the central nervous system then, many months, years down the line, even once the event is over, because the body hasn't been able to process it properly, it will then become engaged with surviving through suppressing the inner conflict that is happening as a result of the inability to have escaped at the time. And how does this manifest? Well, it manifests in the body in physical symptoms in different way: autoimmune diseases, chronic fatigue, irritability, mood swings, sleep problems. And this is why the somatic work is so important, because what the conscious mind can't remember, the body always holds the story. Much love.